All right, guys. So for this creative project, I did a couple like examples with stuff I had lying around my house. I have some pipe cleaners. You can kind of see it wrapped around there. There's a little pom-pom in the middle. So this would be an example of a covalent molecule that has 4 atoms bonded around it. So you could use methane, CH4. And I've tried to do my best to make it show the VSEPR theory in the space, right? So if you look at each of these little glass beads, you can see that it has this kind of tetrahedral shape, and I would probably bend it to try and make it evenly, but that can kind of show it in three-dimensional space. Next to it, some leftover stuff from projects I had with my son. So I had more of these pom-poms and googly eyes. So if we can think of an ionic molecule, right? And an ionic molecule, you have atoms that are being held together through the transfer of electrons. So this is meant to model a 1-to-1 relationship, okay? And so in that 1-to-1 relationship, you can imagine that the pom-poms this could be salt, right? So for each molecule of salt, like if the pom-pom sodium and the googly eye is chlorine, right, there's this transfer of electrons. So this is a little different than this one over here because it's a collection of molecules. So this would actually be more of a salt crystal. So it shows how the molecules are held together, right? They alternate. And so that's why shape and three-dimensional space are important items to think about with molecules. So in this model, this is another creative example that shows these things. Now, realistically, this is not a great model because the googly eyes and the pom-poms are about the same size. So if you think of your periodic table, think about the trends, right? Chlorine is going to be smaller than sodium based on where it is on the periodic table. So if I really wanted to nail this model, I would have made sure that I had something a little different in size. And I had some like smaller bells, but they couldn't really glue to the cardboard, so I didn't use them for this. So that's one example. Those are just 2 examples of what you could do with this project. Again, it's showing the idea, the concept. So if your model isn't accurate, I'm not gonna look to deduct points, but it's important to talk about, okay, hey, this shows how these atoms would be arranged in one molecule and then how those molecules would come together, okay? How those forces would hold it together. So if you imagine like a grain of salt, this could be a representation of a grain of salt, you know? So that's what I'm going for with this, is to take what you guys have learned and apply them from, just what you have around the house, all right?